everyone, Alicia here with another Lightened Up Weight Watcher friendly recipe, and today's recipe is a viewer request for COPYCAT Panera tomato soup. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. I looked around at several different recipes online, found one that I'm going to be lightening up, altering to make more Weight Watcher friendly, lower calorie, all that good stuff. I will be sure to have the recipe that I'm going to be altering linked down below in the description box so you can check out what I am altering if you want. I always love it when you guys suggest recipe ideas for me, and this one was a fun one to look into and try and see if I could make a little bit lighter. So let me jump into ingredients real quick and I'll show you what you're gonna need to make this. First off, you're gonna need two 28-ounce cans of Italian style peeled tomatoes. I'm just using the Cento brand. Next up, you're gonna need a cup of vegetable broth, a quarter cup unsweetened almond milk, quarter cup fat-free Greek yogurt. You could also use a fat-free sour cream. And then here I've got some living basil. I'm gonna be using about 8 leaves of this. Here is a large yellow onion. I'm gonna be using 4 teaspoons of minced garlic, a tablespoon olive oil. I'm gonna add just a tablespoon of this Lakanto Monkfruit sweetener, just the classic. For season, I'm going to be using some dried oregano, a quarter teaspoon crushed red pepper, about a quarter teaspoon black pepper, and a quarter teaspoon salt. And then finally, I'm going to be using some light cream cheese, quarter cup of this. And that is everything that is in this, so let me get it started. First up, I'm going to get my basil washed and set aside, and then I'm going to chop or slice this onion up. And I'm just slicing this onion because I'm going to end up, after I caramelize it a little bit, I'm going to end up just adding it to my blender. So I'm not going to dice it into small pieces. So that is ready to go over to my stove. Here in a large pot that I've got on medium heat, I'm going to add in my tablespoon of olive oil and let that heat up in there nicely. Now I'm going to add in my onions, and I'm going to just let those cook in there for a few minutes until they're softened and they're starting to brown a little bit. While those onions are cooking, I've got my blender here, and to that I'm going to go ahead and add in my 2 cans of tomatoes. You could also do this in a food processor if you want. And I'm going to add in my cup of vegetable broth, quarter teaspoon salt, quarter teaspoon red pepper flakes, quarter teaspoon oregano, my 8 basil leaves that I've rinsed real well, got a quarter teaspoon black pepper, and a tablespoon of that Lakanto. And this is pretty full, so hopefully I don't make a huge mess. I'm going to go ahead and blend this up. Okay, I've got that done, so now I'm going to go check on my onions. My onions have been cooking in here for probably about 7 minutes. They've got a nice little caramelization to them, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in my minced garlic, and that was 4 teaspoons. I'm going to let this cook in here for another minute. I let that garlic cook in there for about a minute, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the heat off, and I'm going to remove my onions and garlic, and I'm going to pour enough of that tomato in there so I now have room to add my onions and garlic into my blender. And now back over at my blender, I'm going to add in my onions and garlic. And obviously if you have a big enough blender or food processor, you don't have to do that little extra step there I did. But now I'm going to blend all that together. Okay, got that all blended, so now I'm going to go back over to my pot and pour this in. Back over here at my pot, I'm going to turn my heat back on to medium. Add in the rest of my soup. And now I'm gonna just let this cook in here on medium heat until it gets nice and heated through. So probably about 10 minutes. And I'll just stir it occasionally during that time. This has been cooking for about 10 minutes and it is starting to come to a simmer. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn my heat down now to low. And then I'm gonna just let it sit for about another 5 minutes. I have let this cool down just a little bit for about 5 minutes on that low heat. So now I'm going to take some of it and put it into a cup here. Just about half of a cup. And then over here I've got my almond milk, yogurt, and cream cheese all measured out. And so I'm going to just add those in to my soup and whisk those in. And this is just to temper these so that they don't curdle like they most likely would if I just added them directly to all of the soup. And lastly, my cream cheese. So I'm gonna just whisk all of that together and try to get that kind of incorporated in with that soup the best that I can. Okay, I've got this whisked together fairly well. There's still little chunks of cream cheese in there, and that's to be expected. But this should, like I said, help keep it all from curdling when I add it in to the main soup, which is what I'm gonna do now. So now I'm gonna add this in and stir it in. And I'm gonna just keep stirring this on a low heat until that cream cheese fully breaks down. I had to move you back because it was fogging up my camera, but I'm gonna just mix this in now on low heat still, and just kind of keep stirring until that remaining cream cheese breaks down and gets incorporated into the soup. And I'm guessing that's going to be probably about 5 minutes or so, but I will be back at that point. I've been cooking this and whisking it to try and break that cream cheese up a little bit better than the spoon, and it's looking pretty good. I've been doing this for about 7 minutes. I'm gonna call that good. So now what I'm gonna do is figure out how many servings I get out of this, and then I will show you what that is and how many points, and we'll also give it a taste. All right, I've got a serving of this. I measured it out and I got just at 8 cups, and I've got this factored in at 6 servings of 1 1/3 cup, which is what I've got here. And the points on that without the croutons is gonna be just 2 points. I went ahead and added a point of croutons to this. I'm just using these guys right here because I believe if you order this soup at the restaurant, they put croutons on it. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but added a point of croutons. So as you see it, oh, and a little more fresh basil. So as you see it, it is 3 points, but we'll give it a try. See what we think. Smells good. I haven't had tomato soup in a really long time. What about you?
I can't remember the last time.
I know. You made me a homemade one a while ago. I mean, a long time ago, I should say. Taste.
So I like tomato soup that doesn't have big old chunks of tomato in it. So that's nice.
I still got very strong tomato flavor.
And I don't like tomatoes, but I've always kind of liked tomato soup. I can't really describe this other than it's real tomatoey.
Yeah. Gotta try that again.
The seasoning's real good.
The heat, are you picking up that little bit of heat from the red pepper?
Yep.
I got that too. But it's...
It's better than the stuff I made you.
No. That was full fat, full calorie stuff that you made me. That's good though. Yeah, I'm having a hard time describing it as well.
Other than it's just good tomato soup.
Yeah, and we haven't had the Panera version, so I can't compare. But yeah, that's got a great flavor. All the different recipes I was looking at for it said you wanted to use canned tomatoes, not fresh, which I found interesting. And they specifically said those Italian ones that I used, and they definitely give a very, very strong tomato
That tastes like
flavor.
an Italian restaurant smells.
Yeah, that's a good way of describing it. Okay, well, what do you think of that for 2 points minus the croutons, 1 with?
Yeah,
I mean 3 with.
The croutons do nothing for me.
The croutons don't do anything for it.
So-
Okay.
Me personally.
I didn't try it with a crouton. I will later.
So the 2 points is killer for that.
Yeah, I
So
think
once
so.
you turn the camera off, I'm just going to drink it out of the bowl.
You're gonna just... Guess I better turn off the camera then so you can get to that. All right, well, winner then. Something you want me to make again, I take it.
Yes.
Maybe. Okay, especially
if it's doing
I gotta
that.
show out the window what it's doing. It's, I don't know if it's picking up, but the wind and the snow, well, the snow is coming in sideways with the wind, and I don't think that is picking up. But it's very cold out there today. And nasty.
Blustery.
Blustery, yes. So perfect day for some nice warm comfort food tomato soup. All right. So he can go ahead and be what? Not couth
Yes.
on film. I'm gonna go ahead and end this, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.